Alright, quick disclaimer before the video does start. I do want to say if I sound a little bit off, well, it's because I'm sick, but hopefully you guys enjoy this video. What's going on, you guys? It's Rahul here, back again with another video, and today I'm here with another top 10, and this time I'm continuing my top 10 players at every single position in the NBA right now. And this time we have my top 10 small forwards, and before this video does get started, I do want to say go ahead and check out my podcast if you guys haven't already. The link to it is in the description below, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get this video started. And coming in at number 10, we have OG Anunoby of the Toronto Raptors. Now, despite the Raps having a very disappointing season last year, OG Anunoby definitely had the best year of his career, and he improved tremendously. He put up career highs in points per game, three-point percentage, three-point attempts, and along with being pretty good on offense, he's one of the best defensive forwards in the league, and his defense is really what, the main quality, and like really just his best quality as a player. Now, last year he averaged 16 points per game, 2 assists per game, 5 rebounds per game, shooting 48% from the field and 40% from 3. Hopefully he does keep that up, and he will become a very big part of the Toronto Raptors' future. At number 9, we have Jeremy Grant of the Detroit Pistons. Jeremy had his best season yet as a pro with Detroit last year, and granted, he was pretty much the only consistent, scoring option on that team, and he probably wouldn't put up those numbers on a title contending team. However, no one can deny that Jeremy Grant is a very good player, and he's a very good two-way wing. He's obviously very good at scoring the ball. He can shoot very well, and he's a very good defensive player. And last year, he averaged 22 points per game, 3 assists per game, 5 rebounds per game, shooting 43% from the field and 35% from 3. Right now, I think he is the best player on Detroit, and I don't know if he will stick around with the Pistons long term. I'm not sure about his future there, but Jeremy Grant's still a very good player, and I think he's still a pretty valuable piece to that team, considering the fact that he can provide some pretty good veteran leadership for them. And yeah, overall, Jeremy Grant, very good player. At number 8, we have Michael Porter Jr. of my Denver Nuggets. Mike, he was a top MIP candidate in 2021. And he got more playing time and opportunity, and he made the most of it. MPJ, obviously a very good scorer, very good at shooting the ball as well, and he's a great rebounder. And he did improve on his defense. Granted, he's still not a very good defender. He's not really much of a positive, and there's no denying that he still has work to do when it comes to his defense. It really showed in the playoffs, but MPJ, he's still a very good player. And again, he did have his struggles in the postseason, but that can be expected from a young guy like him. I think he could definitely take another leap next year, given the fact that Jamal Murray will be out until the All-Star game, I believe, and I mean that will definitely open up a lot of doors, and really just give him the opportunity to to score more points, and really just give him more opportunity in general. But Michael Porter Jr., very good player. Last season he averaged 19 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, shooting 54% from the field and 44.5% from 3. At number 7, we have Gordon Hayward of the Charlotte Hornets. Gordon Hayward, I have to admit, he really hasn't been that same all-star caliber player he was ever since he suffered that horrific injury in the 2017-18 NBA season. However, he's still a very good player, and he's really good on offense. He's very good as a scorer, and he is pretty good as a shooter as well. And overall, very solid player. He's arguably the best player on the Charlotte Hornets, and last year he averaged 20 points per game, 4 assists per game, 6 rebounds per game, shooting 47% from the field and 41.5% from 3. Up next, we have DeMar DeRozan of the Chicago Bulls. DeMar DeRozan, he's one of the most underrated players in the league. He's a very good scorer, obviously, and he really improved a lot as a playmaker, and he's a very good playmaker as well. Now, I have to say, DeMar, he is way more of an old school scorer, type of player, and really just scorer as well, who's a non-3-point shooter that scores mostly through mid-range jump shots and attacking the cup, and that really does decrease his value in the modern NBA, since, if in the modern NBA, I think we all know how important 3-point shooting is. But even then, DeMar DeRozan is still a very good player, still all-star caliber in my opinion, and he was a great addition to the Chicago Bulls. And the Bulls, they're very talented, and I have to say, the Bulls, they did provide him with very good 3-point shooting. So even though he's not a very good 3-point shooter himself, he has good 3-point shooters around him. And DeMar DeRozan, simply put, very good player. And last year with San Antonio, he averaged 22 points per game, 7 assists per game, and 4 rebounds per game, shooting 49.5% from 3. Now we got Brandon Ingram of the New Orleans Pelicans. I personally feel like he's become pretty underrated. He put up pretty similar stats to last year, but Ingram, he improved as a playmaker, and he's still very good, and still, around that level of that all-star caliber player we saw in the 2019 to 20 season. Brandon Ingram, obviously, he's a very good scorer, and he's also a very good shooter as well. And last year, he averaged 24 points per game, 5 assists per game, 5 rebounds per game, shooting 47% from the field and 38% from 3. Up next, we have Chris Middleton of the Milwaukee Bucks. Chris Middleton, he was obviously a very big part of that Milwaukee Bucks title run, and he served as the second, pretty much as a second scoring option, since Jrue Holiday did more of the playmaking on that team, obviously, and he did have his consistency issues in the playoffs, and that was kind of a meme. But Chris Middleton overall, he was not that bad in the playoffs, and he was a massive part of Milwaukee's success. Bro, I cannot talk. But Chris Middleton overall, a very good player, very good as a scorer, can shoot the ball well, and he's also good as a defensive player, and hopefully he does continue to play well in the postseason. And if he does, then maybe the Bucks can, go back-to-back as NBA champions. And last year, he averaged 20 points per game, 5 assists per game, 6 rebounds per game, shooting 48% from the field and 41% from 3. Now we got Jimmy Butler of the Miami Heat at number 3. The Heat, I'll admit, they were a disappointing team, and they were swept in the first round this past season, and Jimmy, he was awful in that series, and that definitely stains his image, and it does affect his overall ranking among NBA players, and it does affect his ranking, on this list. However, with all that being said, no one can deny Jimmy Butler is one of the best players in the NBA. He still is. He can score pretty well. He's not, an elite scorer, but he can score the ball pretty well. He can finish at the rim very well. He's good at making plays for others, and he's one of the best defensive wings in the entire league. And to go along with all that, he's one of the most impactful players in the whole league because of his leadership, and no one can deny that. If he wasn't on Miami, that team would not be the same. Hopefully, he does redeem himself next year, and I'm rooting for him. I love Jimmy Butler, and I think he will definitely redeem himself. There's no way this man is gonna live with how he's gonna live with how he played in that first round series. And I think he will reestablish himself as one of the best players in the league. And last year, he averaged 21.5 points per game, 7 assists per game, 7 rebounds per game, 2 steals per game. And that led the league in that category, by the way, is shooting 50% from the field. And our runner-up is Kawhi Leonard of the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, Kawhi Leonard, he will miss most of the 2022 NBA season due to an injury, obviously, but he will return late in the year in the regular season. And Kawhi Leonard, I think we all know how good he is. He's a superstar player, one of the best two-way wings in the league, very good at scoring the ball. Of course, he can shoot very well, and of course, he can defend at a very high level. And last year, he averaged 25 points per game, 5 assists per game, 6.5 rebounds per game, 2 steals per game, shooting 51% from the field and 40% from 3. And at number 1, we got King James. Look, I'll try to make this kind of short because I think we've heard it like a million times before. But yeah, LeBron James, he was having a very good season before he got injured. And I'll admit, he wasn't amazing in the playoffs, but to be fair, he was not 100% healthy. And I think he can definitely claim that best player in the world title again next year. If he does win a title and he plays well, then I think he can definitely claim it. LeBron James, obviously, he can score very well. His shooting, not the best in the world, but it's still not that bad. He's obviously amazing as a playmaker, one of the best in the league. And even though his defense isn't what it once was, he's still not a bad defender. And before he got injured, he was very good as a defensive player. And even then, he's still a positive defender. And overall, LeBron James, he's LeBron James, and he's a great player. And last year, he averaged 25 points per game, 8 assists per game, and 8 rebounds per game, shooting 51% from the field and 36.5% from 3. But yeah, with that being said, that will wrap it up for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, as it really does help out the channel. And also make sure to subscribe if you guys are new and enjoy this type of content so you don't miss out on any new videos like this. Plus, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and once we hit our goal, I am finally gonna do a face reveal. But yeah, without further ado, I'm out, you guys.